What is even up? It's your boy Kremen with my boy Heckenstein and
Hello.
my wife. I'm Bali.
You just say something.
Oh, hello.
So what, that people can
Listen to my expressions.
identify like your voice with your name. So I try
okay.
to get in there with the hello after my name is said. Just so we are professional. Yeah.
Suck this professional.
Just as he's adjusting the mic.
Well, welcome to the Hypnotic Hootout. Once again here with us today.
Yes, thank you for helping
That's
us
true.
today. This gloomy day.
It is a bit, how would you say, grey, I guess. Grey and windy.
It's bloody depressing, that's what it is.
Indeed. And what?
Right on time. Hello.
Well, hello.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Get the volume for me quickly.
Yes.
So, how have you been? Taking your cue away from you. How did that feel, huh?
No.
Being asked that right away from.
Yeah.
How are we? Feel like I'm good. Yes. Strong sense of goodness somewhere. No, it's been chill. Right? Have we been doing anything?
That you wouldn't want me to do.
I feel like it's been a chill week. I think we've hung out with people a lot.
That hasn't been a chill week then.
What?
Hanging out with the planter, your Pepe, is not chilled.
No? You
Well,
don't
literally,
feel chilled right
what?
now? I mean, yeah, you don't seem chilled right now.
And I'm about to not get chilled right now. Well, I've been waiting to talk in the past 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hour.
Well, then please talk.
Oh, gosh. Now that
What do you have to tell us?
Now that you put me on the spot.
Entertain us, please.
Kidding. No. That will not happen. It's not happening.
Why not?
No. Huh? It's happened. Oh, Hannes, no. Stop.
Special episode.
Special
Just
episode.
2 hours you singing.
Yeah, no. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna end up singing R. Kelly songs.
Oh, okay. No, please.
That's how terrible it is. You're out of a song and then bam, he shows up in your head. Yeah. So. Anyway, it's been okay. It's been very fine. I will impersonate the list master here on my right. Montag. I'm Montag. No, I'm Sonntag. He had a steak.
Yeah. You had a steak.
Sonntag?
And you're thinking about the environment.
That wasn't on Sonntag.
Wasn't
it
it
was on a
on
Thursday. Last Thursday,
Oh my
indeed.
God, really? Yeah.
On actually the day before our last Hootout, so this is like old news.
What, really?
Yeah.
Nee, man.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I'm learning German. So you're going to hear a little bit of phrases here and there. Like Geld.
That's a nice phrase.
Ja, no.
It's important stuff.
Ich liebe, what? Geld.
Yeah.
Ja, ich liebe Geld. Yeah.
Yeah. So very German, right there.
Really? No, what I did today wasn't German, and I was told by every German that I asked in purchasing something quite valuable. Well, it's not a high purchase. It's just a fashion thing, a watch.
A high what? A high purchase.
High
right?
purchase. No,
Right,
it's
yeah.
not a high purchase.
No,
it's
it's not
just
a yacht.
It's not.
Not a yacht or Your next Hummer.
Oh yeah, or fridge, or if we lower our scales to something cold to from a yacht to a fridge. None of that. A friend who collects watches in South Africa asked for one, and so he from South Africa who collects watches asked for one from here. And I've been sending him pictures, we've been talking, and he finally sent the money. And today, instead of going to a protest with Jan, I went shopping for...
What?
Firstly, I was spending time with my in-law, my mother-in-law, buying fruit and veggies and at the market, and then went for a watch.
Sure. Why not?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Have a bit of veggies and a watch.
And a watch. So I get the watch, and it's a tiny little shop. So we get in there, the guy's very quiet until you speak to him, and I don't mean in silent. He looks like a very timid, calm person. Not timid, calm. And then he said, I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, what? What is this word? What is this word that I'm looking for sale? And I'm like to him, Rabat.
Nice.
And he cracks up. He starts going on in German, and my mother-in-law says, no, she doesn't understand, she's from South Africa, and I hear a little bit, she's taking the watch to South Africa, blah blah blah. And he says to me, what? This is no Black Friday.
Oh, okay.
And eventually he gave me 10% off.
Nice.
So I got a 10%
Victory
for
in the end.
rabatting.
Yeah.
If after all you guys had told me, what, there's no ways, which I also understand. It's the luxury and the pursuit of happiness. No, what's the word? It's the luxury and the having that doesn't make you want to haggle for lower prices. You just accept them. It's fair for whatever reason.
I guess the price is
and you can afford it.
As well, that you say, it was an expensive watch. You're not going to buy an expensive watch for like 10%.
No, it's an expensive watch because somebody deemed it that. But how I got it is also a price. I got an expensive watch for little money. That still, I can still tell them it was worth X amount of money.
For sure.
In my head, I know, but I know that little story that says, but I got it for this much, not even on sale.
But I think that's very German as well, right? I mean, in German, that's Schnäppchenjäger.
But isn't that only if it's already like price reduced? Like
What?
you already get like the little ticket on it saying 15% off and whatever.
And you continue
I would
getting
always
it.
expect that you get, that the prices are just set. And if you don't want to pay that much, then you're not going to get it. This is very simple. This is an expensive watch. Why are you asking for a discount type of thing? If you can't afford it, then this is not for you type of a situation.
That is wrong of you
I
Germans.
also don't feel like we would have gotten that discount.
Because you wouldn't ask.
You never asked, at the moment he says like, oh, it's not, there's not a day for discounts and stuff.
And I was accepting it, right? I didn't go on further.
Stand there and like kind of like, huh? Like,
Crossy eyes.
Well, no, I went Rabat first, and then he was like, "What do you think? This is not a Black Friday, like
Sorry,
Friday."
I don't understand full price. Rabat?
And so I got my own. Hey man, I've received from Pure Beauty. I don't know. Somebody said a butcher once when I was still eating meat said I was pretty, and he gave me
sausage.
Disgusting, man.
Walked right into it.
An extra piece of steak. Yeah. They weren't throwing them away.
My mom is like all the time. She's looking for discounts, so she's a discount hunter basically, and it's her favorite thing is telling me like what she bought and how much less it was than it usually is.
Exactly, that's the thing.
That's like the fun
but
of it.
I'm just concerned about. So you would never. It's a fear. It's not a fear. It's just the discomfort of.
It's just
asking.
Yeah, it seems audacious to be like, hey, your price that's not worth it. Give me less.
Well,
it really depends on where it is. I mean, I would do like.
Oh, in India you would do it.
No, I mean in Germany. I'm still in Germany. I mean, if I don't know, if I buy like a lot of stuff, I guess I would say like, I mean, I never do that, but I think I could reasonably do that, but I wouldn't like buy one item and say, can I have it for less?
What I figure is that because it's watches, it's not like something very small. He doesn't sell a lot of those. And again, these, the price markups are like... Probably. And he was sitting there working it out and percentile calculator, and dropping it down. He knows exactly how much that is. Yeah, so...
I think it's basically his fair game. But yeah.
And by the way, speaking of my trip to coming here this time, firstly I asked Menaman to give me like money for a new suitcase, a big one, and then I negotiate with him because I saw one for $700. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
No,
are
that's
they
like
expensive?
700.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no. This is not a Gucci.
It's like huge.
Yeah, no, it's not a Gucci thing.
It has like 50 euros.
Okay, that's reasonable.
So
I think I never bought it. No, me neither. Sorry, you go on.
Yeah, I had Shell anyway. I go to the first store weeks before I leave, and I see it, and I find that they don't have any more in stock, and the one that was on display is scratched. And I'm I talk to the lady, and I'm like, hey, dude, do that.
Yo, bra.
Yo, bra. Like, blah, bra. And she says, bra, no, I can't do that. The owner is such a... She's just a crazy person who would think that the salesperson did something to the suitcase, or I'm the friend, I'm like something. So it's kind of like it was very complicated, and I tried going back, but at some point I was just like, I'm not gonna go and wait for the owner of the store, and I'm like, okay, fine, I know where to go, and where you go is the plaza, Oriental Plaza, in what's this place? Fortsburg. Now, Fortsburg is a very small place for mainly, the reason it's called Oriental and thing is it's got mainly Indian people and a little bit of Chinese and Japanese. But the Chinese and the Japanese have since moved to another Chinatown across the far away from where they are. There's still some stores that are operating there that I don't know what's going on. Yes, I will bring it back. I will bring it back. But Fortsburg is an old place and it's quite nice to go to. And Oriental Plaza, I get there. I see the suitcase. I think I'm gonna like it. And there's plenty of them because it's a mall type of a thing, open air type of stores around. Yeah. I go there, get the place, and go to this guy. This guy is like, no, the suitcase is 1,200. I like that one, 1,200. Like, I don't have, my man is gonna kill me. He only gave me $700. And he's like, no, I can't give you that. You can get this other one. And I'm like, no, but I don't want that one. I want this one. And I'm like, no, what they do, which is it's a belief of theirs. So we worked up to, I said to him, I can only move up to $900.
Yeah.
And that's the least I can do.
Yeah.
And he...
What's the most you can?
Because I was, well, for him, whatever.
The least you can do is pay more.
The most I can do, whatever. Don't be smart with me. I'm being nervous because I have to bring it around. Punchline is I got a suitcase down from 1,200 to $900 because the guy says that I'm his first customer, and because of that, Allah will bring him more customers. And so it's not like, I'm for him giving, and the Indian communities like that, they believe in that, that you just must let go of the stuff and discount it and do whatever, and you'll get more customers back somehow. So
makes sense, and probably also there the markup's probably pretty high.
No, but there's plenty of them selling the suitcases, and I went to him, and I was his first customer, and and if he had let me go, it would have been not so great.
I think it's often a good idea to just ask. I mean, anyway, even in Germany, even though I really don't use. I mean, you can't do that really in the shopping, but I heard you can basically go there. I mean, it's also something that nobody does, but you can tell them I'm gonna pay with card, or I guess it's not Rewe or something. It's gotta be like a smaller one,
like a
or
boutique,
I'm gonna buy it with cash, but with cash I want to pay less. I want to have a discount. Yeah, because they have to pay on like
the card
using
and stuff.
The card transaction stuff. And that apparently sometimes works. I don't know. Never really tried that. I know my parents are also like really hot on the display items. That's what they get all the time. Like, was it on display? So you got it like just for half or whatever. It always works out, and then they love it when somebody else gets the same thing and they paid more, and then I'm going to hear about it on the telephone.
Yeah.
You know, the neighbors, they got the same bikes. And do you know how much they paid for it? Yeah, it's good fun with that. No, I just did this once when I was backpacking, and we were on Madeira, and we came late in the evening.
What's that, Portugal?
Yeah, Portugal, okay. A little island.
Okay.
It still is Portugal. Got the lights going. It's the police outside, probably. And we came there late in the evening, and we didn't have a place to stay. And I said, okay, this is like a tourist location anyway. So there are lots of hotels. So I said, okay, let's just go from hotel to hotel and ask them how much they want for the room.
Yeah.
So we went to the first, and I just wrote it down, the number, and I was like, okay, can you go down on that? He said, what? I mean, it's late. You're not gonna sell that bed anymore. So it's just. I mean, you can make some money with us now or not. We're gonna walk around, ask everyone like what their prices are. And whether or not they have a pool. We always asked for a pool, and then. Yeah, we got a pretty cheap room in a pretty good hotel that we wouldn't have been able to afford, because the manager woman said, "Yeah, you're right, and yeah, we have a pool, and we're gonna make this offer." And we were like, "Yeah, sounds great." We went in there.
You don't even negotiate in nightclubs.
No, don't go in nightclubs, but you can negotiate there.
Yeah, it's the 8 of us. Just give us the price for 7 or something.
They're usually the clubs, bar. No, it's not even bars. Like the events I go to, they're usually on donation basis. So you give.
Oh, okay. Here it works differently.
Yeah.
That side, if it's a set price.
The lefty circles there, they're all on donation. because they want everybody to be able to get in. Everybody gives as much as they can.
Yeah, the exclusive ones we can go.
What other sort of events do you go to?
That's me.
Yeah.
You wanna?
Yes.
Yeah, wow, it was dying off already.
For a long time.
Oh, I want to burp so rudely right now.
Do it. Go on, give it to us.
No, I'm under pressure.
Well, then release it.
It was a good one. No, yeah. So
Next time I'll spell your name.
events. Okay, it's a crude getting the curve to demonstration. I was on a demonstration and a protest. Is demonstration even the right word in English for that, or is it more protest? Well, it was a protest. Two even. So I was on Saturday. I was on the Wir sind alle links. We are all left, but links with an X. I forgot why.
Because of Malcolm X?
No.
Oh, shit.
No. And then, today was the climate protest, Fridays for Future. And so two protests this year. It's twice as many as last year for me. And it's kind of fun. Very different protest, by the way. Like Saturday was a lot smaller, and everybody was wearing black, like more except me and like a couple other people who didn't get the memo, I guess. And the protest there was for, and I forgot to tell on last Friday's show. I wanted to tell everybody to come there. It's better that way because this one was it was really left. Really, I'm hesitant to say extreme left because I don't usually feel that left is so extreme as everybody's saying it is. Being left isn't really, I feel like, the healthy, proper choice. But yeah, there were a couple of people you could see from the get-go who had like all rubbery jackets, trousers, shoes, gloves, and they were prepared for something to happen. Or most people were, wearing completely black, had masks on, covered their hair so that you couldn't identify them. Some even had sunglasses on, so you couldn't identify them at all. Everybody was wearing masks there. Nobody. I don't know. I didn't even know that it was so. I thought it was a more general protest, not a like really left one. But I guess it's "We Are All Left" is the title. I thought like everybody's going there because lots of people are more on the left than on the right. But this was one where it's been mostly really active, politically active left activists, basically. And it was interesting. I was at the end of the protest walking behind them, so I didn't catch most of the stuff that happened. I just heard like in front, like when they threw stuff around. They had some speeches that were pretty good. Lots of cool chants, international chants, lots of anti-fascist chants that I didn't know yet. I felt like I haven't been in a while for a real left protest, so I felt kind of like I didn't know the words to all these cool protests chants. I mean, but I learned, and it was fun just walking there. I saw like people ripping off the AfD posters. They threw colored stuff on the police station. Made a lot of noise. They had like fireworks to make a noise. And then around where I live, I got myself a burger and went home because I was like, it's probably the end anyway. I saw that the next street to the main street was a lot of police standing around, kind of waiting. And later that day I learned that when they arrived in Konowitz, the police, I guess they didn't want to leave, or maybe they saw the police and got angry. Maybe the police got angry and just said, like, now you're going, and you're not going, let's end this with a little bit of violence. I can't really tell, I can't really say. I know that the police here in Leipzig, and if they got like some support from around, are let's say not really good at de-escalation. They sometimes appear to be escalating things, especially with the helicopter.
Yes, you
I mean, I
know.
always hear the helicopter because I'm living near Konowitz, where a lot of left stuff is going on. And yeah, we also had a helicopter running around. That's just annoying. You can't hear people. I don't know. Yeah, but it was cool. And yeah, today, climate, Fridays for Future, very different, very colorful. Only a couple people completely in black, no black block. Prepared for everything, very middle of the road, like everybody with their children and their dogs, lots of bikes. Yeah, it was kind of nice just like arriving there. I was a little bit late because I had to look at some magic cards in the comic store around the corner there. But it took a while. Yeah, they played some techno in one of the booths or wagons. There was a live hip hop dude who made like critical activist German hip hop, and was actually quite good. I don't know his name, but
Eco MC,
Right.
MC Eco.
I don't know. I don't know. That was nice, but I don't know, the path they took was a bit weird. Like they had to go through the tram station, and then they had to wait when the tram was going through, and the police was regulating them. They didn't do anything like that with the We Are All Left demo. There we just walked on the street and nobody could drive there. It was just like given that nobody's gonna interfere. These guys are gonna walk there, and there's nothing they can do about it. And yeah, the climate was more regulated, I guess. Lots of people still wear masks because of Corona. Yeah, lots of kids there as well. Some got impatient. Why do we have to go here? It's so boring. Other one, other one near me started a chant like, "Let's go," because we were standing there for like 1.5 hours or so, at least. We're just standing at the start, and he was like, "Let's go, let's go, let's go," and people started to cheer with him. It was kind of fun. But yeah, when they started walking, I was like, okay, man, I gotta go. So I went around the corner. I saw that they were like doing like a U-turn basically. So I looked a little bit at that there, and then came here.
It's such a weird thing. Politics will win, and climate change, anything. Do you have to fill in I presume you have to fill in or notify the system that I'm about to protest and stuff.
Yeah.
But
you have to register.
Yeah.
Tell how many people are. You have to have some organizers. They have to be like recognizable.
Yeah. I'm just because I'm curious regulated about that whole situation about the various. It's vast. The difference from the other one to
the other
this
one had the same thing basically, but yeah, I mean, first off, the people going to the We Are All Left protest, they were all like activists, and they were really organized. They went into rows by 8 people. They were just like they've done so many protests. Probably they know all the chants. There was a lot more chanting going on. The climate protests, they didn't have that many chants. I know that one of the people on stage started to start one, but it was a little bit too complicated. Nobody could follow. Yeah.
So what? Oh, it's such a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. There were school kids, of course, because Friday for Futures was one block. There was a block of people working. There was a block of bicycles. There was another block of Greenpeace people.
Nah, it just seems like they were a bit disorganized.
They were organized, but the people weren't like as practiced in doing demonstrations, and it didn't have so catchy chants.
Not even a carrot in the air.
No,
I don't know what they would do, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, but cool signs. They had a lot more signs than the left demo. Yeah.
Okay, the anarchists just wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. I guess you have an opinion about going on the street for your cause. No, I think we did have like a little bit of a talk, right? Because I told you about that, and then you guys were like,
Well, firstly, the lefties here, that's not my fight. Until I live here. But I also
I guess the idea there is international.
No, especially now with the voting now, I feel like
this is like far left activists.
What is far left?
Anarchists, people, communists.
Yeah.
I
like communists.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
And anarchists.
To that. But I just...
So yeah, I don't know how political. Like, I don't think they're gonna change the vote. I mean, yeah. I guess they're a little bit the problem. There was they went on the street to say like, here in Germany, the left is made out to be like this terrorists faction, like the left terrorism, blah blah blah. Like our parties are warning people of we gotta protect from this shift to the left, because now with the Green Party and the SPD and the left party that didn't even get that many, isn't projected to get too many votes. Still think the left party is the better one, my opinion. But yeah, so the CDU, like the more conservative parties, are now like warning against, oh my god, if you vote for these, the communism will come and we are all gonna starve and they're gonna rule everything, blah blah blah. And yeah, I had thought that we're going to go on the street and tell them left is everybody. We are all left people, and not like we are not different. We are not a criminal organization. Like Antifa is not an organization. Like being anti-fascist is
a view.
Is something you should be.
Yeah.
But then the reality on this protest in particular was that there were also like I don't know. I heard people like saying like fighting cops is a sport, or I mean I get also like fighting fascists is fun, or all that. Yeah, more I guess extreme left, like militant left stuff, and I'm left wondering whether like this is like the effect of this protest on the whole of the society, or at least in Leipzig, maybe in Germany. Is it bringing people to the left or less so? And I had the feeling with the fights with the cops at the end and some of the chants that this might hurt the cause more than it helps. And yeah, as I told you before, like the this became symbolic for me when I saw someone climb up a lamppost to rip down an AfD poster. And when he came down, he inadvertently ripped down the left poster as well, because it was just hanging there, and that's how it felt to me. Like, yes, they are showing a strong opposition to fascists, to all that far right and right shit, but also the way they are showing this will alienate the more I don't know,
center left,
not so politically inclined people, the normal working middle class people. I mean, if they were there like shouting, what's the right afraid of? And then everybody was shouting, class combat, and I'm not sure like how this sounds if you don't know about what exactly class combat means for these people, because it does sound pretty violent and like class, like if you don't think we really have classes in Germany, which we definitely do, then I don't know how that sounds and feels for a bystander.
So that would mean the left themselves promote class? What does that mean?
They want that
equal everything.
They want that lower classes come together to fight the few people at the top. That's the class combat they want. They want to say, look, people, we are all lower class. They're just a couple people that are upper class. Let's unite.
Like eat the
Let's
rich.
fight. Yes, exactly. Eat the rich.
Okay.
And yeah, it's kind of, I don't think like my mom would see that and get afraid and not vote the left party. Yeah.
I still say I have enough problems in South Africa than here. So maybe that's why I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are different reasons why you would go to a protest, right?
Yeah, because I've never been one, and then I'm gonna be beaten up by some right wingers when they meet the extreme.
Nah.
No, I mean
you're safe. Like on the left, you are safe.
No, you know what I mean. Like the minute they clash and meet, like bad Michael Jackson's bad, and they meet the baddies and the goodies meet and they beat each other up.
You just don't go in the first row and start throwing
stones
at the police. Yeah, that's true. But then you're safe. You can just stand a little bit farther behind and look at it, and nobody will bother you. Usually, I mean, it's possible, and it happens that the police will just corner everybody in. But in Germany, I don't think that really happens. I mean, only like on big demonstrations like the G9, G8, G20 and what have you.
Okay.
Then they are more like from different areas of Germany, and then they are more aggressive and stuff. And I don't think it happens. Maybe in Konnewitz, I don't know. But yeah, the people I know that went to Konnewitz, they were just standing by looking at the police using their water throwers and the black bloc with their umbrellas already prepared for exactly that.
And then you go to the eco ones.
I guess, but what's the reason why I go on a demonstration like that or a protest? For me, it's just seeing how many people there are. It kind of gives me hope. Kind of shows me, oh, look at that. It's not like a fringe idea.
Vivacious.
It gives you energy. It's kind of fun. I think it's you like going there does have a positive influence on society as a whole. Like showing bystanders, like, look at this dude. He's also there, and he's so beautiful with his hair. So I think
no, more like demonstrate to your child at home.
Yeah. And I think that the parties also are looking on that. They see the numbers, they calculate like, okay, how do we have to put our program to also catch the people who are, I guess, like the left protest, lesser extent than the climate thingy. I don't know how much, and it reinforces. I think more than anything, it reinforces the idea in the people who are going to the protest themselves. Look at how many people we are here. We can change something. We are the majority. Like the climate protest is pretty big this time around again, way bigger than the other one.
Are you a member of any organization like a climate? Whatever?
No,
because I think that's where the protest is.
Yeah.
To become a member, and that's the number. Yeah.
I guess I was like Greenpeace activist for a tiny bit, and yeah, nothing else. I think. Yeah. But I think it's important to go. I'm not like angry with anybody who doesn't want to go or has other things to do. But I like to encourage people to go on the street, join the protests, and make their voices heard. Yeah.
I mean, the ones that I've seen. Hannes, do you have anything to add? Because I've got stories with protestations in South Africa that mean nothing. The last one that we did now, people did was for a criminal not to be charged, and it ended up being looting of the country. And these are the poor people who end up looking for more stuff because the country is just busy going down and down and down. And like, what do? You can't. One of the other stupid ones was fight for the hungry and the poor, and the poor were marching, and immediately the leader of that political party, he flew with this helicopter to an airport to go to Mauritius in a purple suit for a wedding weekend with his friends on some champagne, expensive champagne. So yeah, leaving them hungry there after walking for miles on end. I guess the ones that made sense were the ones democracy. Right?
Right.
It felt like there was something people were fighting for. Against apartheid and stuff.
Yeah. They're just coming together and showing the other, like the opponents, your strength, but also like to the people there, like showing like, look at that, we can change things. We are a huge group.
Yeah.
My problem with demonstrations is that you're showing that you can do it, but then you don't do it. And I feel like people go to just say, I am against this, and that's all the contribution they're making. And just a statement of position is not the same as actually doing the work, and so the work still doesn't get done. I feel like we've had enough demonstration. I'm more pro-riot, because I feel like riots get stuff done. Because I actually don't think that the politicians care how many people stand there. What they're doing is not influenced by us. That's influenced by business interests, obviously, right?
Not only.
I don't believe that they're really that.
They need to get voted, right? So they need the votes of the people.
And the next person will come through. Just like it could be you today.
Well, it's party versus party, right?
Yeah, but
so they jostle for.
And it doesn't matter who you vote for.
It doesn't matter for them.
Well, no, we don't care about them that much. We're talking about a party. It doesn't. It's like you kill this one ant and the whole herd is still somewhere in there. Like I don't.
I'm not for killing anyone. That's his part.
No, I mean you remove the. You know what I mean?
But if the party looks at the protest and it sees like, oh, that's a huge one, maybe climate is a topic we should actually do something about, because all the other parties will see that too and will try to get these people to vote for their party.
Yes.
So I don't think that part is true. I don't think that actually happens. I think they're very comfortable demonizing that part rather than pandering to it, because they would risk a much larger base whom they've already convinced that that's bad. Everything that goes against the economy is bad, so they couldn't possibly be pro. Just in lip service, obviously. You have to do some lip service, but you don't really change. And I feel like we've had like decades of protesting culture feels big in Germany. Like from my teens, I've known about protests all over the place.
It's a healthy part of democracy, and a lot of people say.
And all that's happened is that that the Nazis get more and more comfortable, and we're going to the right. So I feel like all the demonstration has demonstrably been useless.
That's, even
or ineffective.
For you to say that is kind of weird, because you do realize that the big Monday protests were like a big part of why the wall fell, right? That was protests. That was people coming together and saying, that's bullshit.
That was not a demonstration. That was an organized thing where they got, and that's not happening here. We're not doing that.
Organized? What do you mean?
I'm just like actually right now doing a cursory read into the history of East Germany and stuff, and the stuff that happens. But from what I understand, it's like that it's not just a demonstration of a couple of people, but like a mobilization of the entire country, kind of. And that's not something we're doing.
That's what Fridays for Future is trying to do.
Trying and not achieving, because we've been trained
staying at home.
We've been trained to think of going to that protest as the end of it. And in East Germany, I don't think it was the end of it. They didn't just go on the street and therefore everything changed. There were a lot of groups that were like working politically towards things. We're putting not just we are all believing.
That's happening in Fridays for Future as well. Right? You realize that and a lot of people get their support there. They get more people to sign up for to help with the organization. That's part of all that's happening.
Yeah, and it's maybe just the thing that's still in progress. But I've seen the left demonstrate, like I said, for how long have I been noticing this? The last 30 years? Probably not. But 25. And I am not seeing that anybody is actually more on the left, or that people are actually convinced to the left. I see a shift to the right and a very satisfied but static middle, really. I mean, that's as strong as centrism, that people think they're on the side of progress, but just by saying I'm on the side of progress are on the side of progress, when that in itself is a blockade to it, because we need action, not just people who think they've already done their part because they stood somewhere for a couple of hours. If you just go home and you don't actually do anything differently about it, then it's just a kind of like an opiate, a little bit of numbing of white guilt, and then you go back to just doing what you've always been doing. No discomfort.
You're not completely wrong with that statement, for sure. I don't think that's always happened, and I think we are a little bit in trouble right now because we are kind of putting the left protests and the climate protests together, and they are really kind of different, because the climate protest is way bigger and it's way more the whole spectrum of society than the left one. The left demonstrations, they are like the more just left politics ones. They are smaller, they don't have that many that big of an impact, I'm sure, but the like climate or environmentalist protests that I've been at, they usually come with not only political parties there taking part. The Green Party is often, and the Left Party is often in the climate protests. Haven't seen them here though. They are looking to get signatures, and if you've got enough signatures, they can put something can force the government to actually look at stuff and have to deal with their proposals and stuff. So there is a direct way to at least nudge the government. And it only happens if enough people are there. And again, like a lot of people, they organize there. You can see like organizations, they will be at the protest and you can look at them, you can become part of them. And they are, of course, doing the activist stuff that you want to see. They don't just go home and then do nothing. And I mean, Fridays for Future, of course, comes from the school children going on the streets, not going to school on Friday. Interestingly, this protest started at 2, so they could go to school and then to the protest afterwards. Which I'm not sure if this is like, again, I think like to have a protest that really does something, it has to hurt someone at some point. It has to like upset something. And if it's just like the teachers and the parents and then the parties can go like, oh, these children should go to school, like they said at first. But I guess I don't want to accuse you, but I'm interested in if you're so harsh on protests and say like, they just go there and then they feel better and then they go home. Is it better than to stay home and not even go there? Because that's like an alternative.
That part doesn't make a difference.
Feels worse for me.
That would be a change for once.
I feel like
it's better to stay home. One showed up. But let's put it this way.
Well, it kind of shows like, nobody cares about that.
Yeah, but that's true.
No, but
whether they stand there or not. If you're just talking about the people who go home and not do anything, they might as well stay home. Nothing changes. Just that other people feel more inspired than they should because it was so full. But 90% of the people go home and don't do anything. So you have really been just a small group of people who actually care.
I don't know, because...
What about petitions? For instance, I know that... Yeah. Does it work here that you find 100,000
and then you can
signatures and blah, 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 and that will change something?
See, the problem with change, especially in a democracy like Germany, that's really a lot of bureaucracy, is that even if, let's say, so here's my critical take on protests, I guess, the climate protests in particular. Even if now, let's say, the SPD, like middle of the road, we are democratic and kind of social party, looks at this and says, okay, we're going to put something in our program about climate change. What they are actually doing then, it's standing in their program doesn't mean they're going to actually do anything.
Yeah, sure.
That's something different. And I feel like you can't fault the protest that it doesn't change anything if the system, just buffers all that energy that the protest brings into nothingness. And again, I feel like going on the street, showing your support, showing your voice, seeing organizations you could join and do something, just making a ruckus and upsetting people. This is doing something at least, and staying at home and doing nothing is just worse. It's just like I don't think that there's like this. I mean, it's like it shows the opposite. It shows you like if they're gonna say, okay, let's do a climate protest and nobody comes. It's not gonna be like, oh my God, nobody came because everybody cares about the climate. They're gonna say like, oh, nobody came, nobody cares about the climate, so fuck the climate then. We don't need to
of course, I know people see by seeing other people doing it that you might get that number. And like, maybe that's different than... I just feel like, Hannes, I want to see a change of some sort, like a different... Well, I mean, look at
the... But you're against change.
Yeah, but you're not
for change.
Huh? I am against the appearance of doing something without doing something. That's the part that bothers me. I do, obviously, demonstrations have their place and their function, but I also think that we have overdone it to the point that it's so hollowed out that people just use this as a personal relief. And there I do think I would rather they stay home and feel bad about themselves so that maybe they're inspired to do something else.
But what else can they do?
Look, let me
I actually also don't know, but there is community organizing, right? You could like get sunk into, like me personally, I feel like I have found sort of my niche and what I'm contributing to the thing. I have my particular thing about mental health and taking these systems apart and stuff, and I feel like I'm doing that in my circle of influence in a way, and that's my little contribution. And I'm not really made for a different type of activism. This is my type of activism. And I feel like if everybody, finds like this way, what is your activism? Not the, it also seems scary, the whole, oh God, and you have to do this, and you have to deal with the bureaucracy, and you have to go to talk from door to door. That's always the image I have of activism. But I feel like there are more personally suited things that we could all be doing to kind of move ourselves collectively forwards.
For sure.
I'm gonna be
no disagreement here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be positive about certain things. Take for instance LGBTQI plus A movements everywhere. Whatever they've done seems to have made some grounds into,
For example, yeah, that's a good example.
Moving things and shaping things. But after that, in South Africa, for instance. It looms up that we have other issues within the community than what we've been fighting for. Once that's done, it's kind of like we need new ways of what are we protesting? What is it now that I'm sure there are still some firm murder. What do you call it again? Corrective rape, all of those murderings and stuff like that that's happening. But there's been we have the best constitution for the LGBTQI, for instance, in South Africa. They were allowed to be married. We were allowed to be married. No, I meant if I wanted to be a woman, I would do that. So I keep on placing myself as an outsider, knowing that. And people, if it weren't for people, organizers who pushed for this, that wouldn't have happened, right? But right now we're sitting with, in South Africa, I'm reading a stat here from last year. There's been 511. And the highest being
11 what?
Protests. The highest being labor complained about. The lowest being vigilantism.
Vigilantism.
Yeah, that's 1%, 13%.
That's protest or what? It just
No, these are number of protests around the country.
Let's try to make sure.
That's happened. There's xenophobia in the middle, land, corruption. Second and third is electricity and municipal services. These are what we are complaining about, and none of these have made any.
But you never see like how the world would have been if these would not have taken place, right? It's easy to say like nothing changed or just a little bit changed, but it would have changed anyway.
Also, the things don't happen. I will give you in labor being the top one. Nobody protested that the domestic workers and the general workers should get more money and they should be put into a system where they can like be in the tech system type of a situation and be paid for unemployment funds and stuff like that. Nobody went and protested that for it to happen, for the law to change. Somebody up there does that stuff. So what do you do with the protestation? And of course this 13% is like a huge number of variations about labor, and it's obviously unemployment, most of it. But nothing like that doesn't help. That doesn't.
I'm actually not so sure if things do get better actually, or if they just shift shape. Because that's how it feels to me. When we talk about apartheid, it didn't actually change beyond what do you call this?
The facade.
like a visual makeover, basically.
Yeah.
But now it's not the white faces oppressing you. It's
us.
the black faces in front of the white faces, basically.
Who are mainly... No, wait.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
do the numbers, like murders of black people, they are just the same? All that stuff.
What do you mean? What?
No, I'm not saying that no things change, but I do think they just... Because, for example...
it just changed.
We've had... like, if you think of the Pride Parade, right? That was from the 60s to basically walk for the rights of LGBT people and stuff. And it feels now that corporations, celebrate Pride Month and stuff, like something has happened, but really still, I mean, trans people are actively getting their rights taken away more and more. They're still dying at an alarming rate. 60 years later, basically, it has transformed from a hollow embracing of the thing that was more outright persecuted.
No. If anything, it changed from open resentment. Because that's where it was back then, and I find it like hard for us to state like nothing changed when we weren't there back in the day.
I'm
when
sorry,
we
for
haven't
us,
lived through that.
For us in South Africa, and I having had a little partial living through that, is that what it did was the wolf removed, or the wolf put on a sheepskin.
But have you seen it pre-apartheid? Have you lived through that?
A little bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years of it.
A little bit of it.
And there's like you can say there's no substantial change, just like different.
It's just foolery. The worst thing is that it's the newborns, the millennials who think, nah, you guys didn't do anything, and they don't understand why. Like, their protest is not our protest. 1. 2, it's the whole system is made for the young ones to think everything is okay when the older ones are still wishing for the old system where it kind of didn't care about them and it oppressed them, but they lived better. They had better. There was money exchange within the communities. There's less money now. There's less there's more corruptedness. There's a whole lot of things, and of course everything has been supposedly being transparent, but it's not transparent, and it isn't.
But I feel like we're really confusing a lot of things here right now.
No, what I'm saying is it hasn't changed.
So it didn't. Now it sounds like it's gotten worse even.
In some way, it's worse when you are oppressed by your own person than being.
It would have been better if apartheid had stayed. Just nobody go on the street. It's fine how it is. That's what you're saying, right?
What you are given is a.
Just sit down, accept.
In
That's how it sounds. That is not the consequence from nothing's changing.
I know what
it's
you
that
mean.
The change is not good enough.
It's not good enough.
Not that we should have not even tried. It's like, okay, here's the example.
That's the distinction that I want to like underline, because that's how it comes to me. I know you're not really saying that, but that's
I want
like
more action.
You're discouraging people.
No, I'm not. At no point am I saying take less action. That's my whole thing. That I think people do too little. But I think an example that maybe is a better explanation of what I mean is slavery has ended, but oops, now there's a prison system where people are functionally enslaved. Prison labor is just slavery that is now legalized, and where people have been convinced actually this is righteous and good and that's the thing we should do. It is still slavery. It just has yes, we don't have any massas anymore and whatever, we don't have plantations, but we do have the prison system. It looks different, it feels better, but it's not better.
It's better.
How is it better?
It's not better.
First off, there isn't just one owner who just rapes all the women there and all that stuff.
No, but now you're making me part of the ownership.
There are like black people living freely. There are black people having rights. Black people can vote. all that stuff. That's not nothing.
They also kind of
But they're also
at
not,
the same time.
in terms of justice, they're not getting the best justice ever. In fact,
the
it's
inequality hasn't really changed.
Listen,
It changed face.
Wait.
No, listen. So we had like a huge problem here, and like
And
let's say that the solution is there, right?
Yeah.
And it went like from here and went like a little bit in that direction,
And then it went somewhere
a little bit back, but it didn't went all the way back. So in effect, it's better. It's just not where we want it to be, right?
No, it just deviated. We're never gonna get here because
I feel like
there's little.
if you say that nothing changed, you're like saying all the work, all the blood, the lives that were lost by the people who protest and fought for that were for naught.
No,
they should have stayed
that's
home.
not true.
Because
that's not true.
You're adding that part. I do think
if you say
that
nothing changed, that's what you say.
Okay,
no,
wait.
I say functionally nothing changed, and that means we have to do more, not less.
Jan, the three of us are fixated on semantics words that say nothing or something. I will personally take back. It seems like things have changed or they've deviated to now that I have democracy. What do I need to deal with next? Education, housing, getting my land back, labor, equality in so many ways, female, all kinds of things, recognizing all of those. This one banner that somebody sold us to encompass something that will, if we get this freedom, everything will go. We believe that. And the next thing, this one little beacon becomes a whole problem for all of these, making it seem like it's a ripple.
I guess it's like you have, let's say you have a room and you have like one cupboard, and then you realize that's infested with termites. Yeah. And you get rid of the cupboard.
Yeah.
But the termites
are still there
in the
somewhere.
ground.
Yeah, they're still there.
So it has something changed. It's better now. But the core problem, termites are here.
Yeah. And you can bring in a new cupboard, and somewhere along the line it will fester.
Okay. If we can make this clear, I can let that rest, because to me,
I just see it that way because I'm gonna be. I feel I don't want the old system back. I hate the old system. It left me hating my own people, resentful of myself, hating myself, thinking low of myself. And that's just outside self-confident issues. And that turn into some internal stuff. The whole of South Africa, or all of Africa, is damaged by some stupid fucking... I almost went the C word. Well, colonialism.
You're gonna bleep that out, the whole thing here.
So that just went. It's frustrating when you think, okay, fine, we've won this, but LGBTQI, we won. People can get married, but then people can't identify as something else because. Wait a minute, you guys, we were waiting for you to finish that. I thought you guys were done. And then you're not done. And that's a new struggle. And for the new
bathrooms are now
for the new kids in the block is in South Africa with the apartheid. Of course they don't know anything, but then it feels like they're not even trying to fight for labor. Well, I know that they're much slightly equipped, but you go to varsities that have old male, people don't have money to pay, old white male, people have no money to pay for studies. The government one is busy raising money, fees. And at the same time, who are they covering for? Some stupid two guys from one varsity who stole 23 million, white people. School fees. And
I get it. I thought we were talking about, does it make sense to go on the street in a protest, and now you're telling me everything's wrong, and it's like it's not the fault of the people who go on the protest.
It's a problem.
Yeah, I see that.
It's a problem.
So should you go on the street for that, or should you go? And if you
you should if you're gonna loot some stores.
Hold on. I mean, We're not talking about riots, right?
Well, no. Protests are something else.
Not yet. Well, riots are good. No, people who go on the street and die, that is all courageous and brave and admirable and definitely not for nothing.
Martyrdom.
But that happens because these people are going on the street for visibility of people who are not allowed to be visible. What I don't like is people going on the street to say, I'm not like the bad people. I'm not the problem. It's a not all me demonstration that I have a problem with.
I see. So,
what did you say the Black Lives Matters last year was like? It was
exactly that feeling of people just standing there saying, I am not the problem. And that's like, great.
But you are the problem. You are the
that
very
has not
thing
improved
problem.
the lives of anyone except yours. And now you feel like, you've done something. You really like
everybody
took
pat
position.
the back of the next person you see. Hey! I get that.
And the worst thing about it was like you saw it was mostly white people, mostly with the same 3 ripped off lines. I know, I understand that I will never understand, but I stand. And I was just like,
but what else? That's the thing.
Even
What
the
else?
stolen. Well,
Isn't that like
educating yourself?
do anything? Like go on the street. I mean, at least you're doing something.
I don't. But that's not. If all you're doing is relieving your own anxieties and tension, but you're not helping the other people, then it's just a selfish and meaningless expression of superiority, I guess.
I mean, that you have like that you get anxious. Isn't that like already a good sign? Like, okay, you see there's a problem. Yes. And now you go on the street and you're kind of making the problem visible. You can't. I feel like you can't fault the people for that. I get that, and I think like if we're talking about change, I mean, I kind of had a realization in this right now that we gotta change. It's a difference if you go on the street for a social issue or political issue, because I think the political issue to change something is way harder. It's like because it's all going all through. But a social issue just for LGBT, for example, just everybody coming together, and then everybody who's there who's queer can look around and see like, wow, I'm way more accepted than I thought. And the other thing I want to say, like. All the activists, the organizations, the organizers of that very protest, for example, they are fighting, they are doing something. And they say, okay, please people, just come out, go on the street, just walk a little bit. Yeah. We want to do something. Just come here and walk. If you don't come, you kind of think like, whatever. And if you come, you're giving at least them like the motivation, like, okay, we can do something, we can change something. Okay, this is the one way we go on the streets, and the other is we're gonna talk to politicians or whatever. Like I feel like, criticizing. I guess you can criticize that protests aren't doing enough, but criticizing people going on protests that they are just patting themselves on the back. Is like it's like discouraging people to just do anything, and I mean at least you're doing something. And I had a better example for that, but it's as if I mean, why are you writing your pronouns on your Twitter profile, right? You're not doing anything. You're not really changing anything. What does it change, right? But you're doing
much. It changes much.
Yeah, it changes as much as going on a protest.
Well, I guess let's put it this way.
Right.
A little change is better than nothing. And it happens just like evolution does in small increments. Some of them you may not even see. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
If we're on the same boat of saying like protests are great, but
not for everyone.
Not enough at all.
Yeah.
We gotta do more. Like this I can say, but saying like forget protests. We gotta do something else or something more, and then I ask like, what else? What more?
You would know this protest where they took blood and they were protesting in blood.
Protesting blood sounds metal as fuck, but I don't know.
And then in South Africa, long story short, one party that was ruling a certain section of South Africa, Cape Town, which is mainly white people, gave black people toilets only without covers. So people would take blankets and shit in front of everybody, like neighbors see you and you're covered in a blanket and you're shitting, right? So the people took their feces into Parliament, left it there, and of course that didn't do much except make the whole place stink.
Make the whole thing, and that's
of course what they were threatening was to the political party was like, we're gonna take the feces and check, maybe we might find a DNA of some sort, and scaring people and shit like that. It was the weirdest thing, but it was a different change when we're talking about change in terms of how we do protests in South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. A protest has to make a stink. That's an important part. And if we are going, like, if we're waiting for the tram, like...
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
I guess that doesn't do anything but, like, show the organizers that, yeah, you're also...
comply.
That there has to happen something.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, that's true. You gotta upset something. Like, I had a teacher... when we were protesting, I think it was the Iraq war, and he, like, I told him, we're gonna go to the protest, and he was, that's great. And then he said to me, if you're going to a protest, make sure you're walking on the streets, because you gotta put as much sand in the gears of the system as possible, or else it doesn't matter what you're doing. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to argue here all the time, like, even if it's just like one little piece of
okay,
stone.
fine.
You
and I seem to agree that...
I'm not faulting the people for, like, patting themselves on the back a little bit that they went to the protest. Because I know enough people who don't go. Hannes, your wife, is signing silently, and you didn't hear it. It's very rude of you. Yeah.
I stood up because I went there, but then came back thinking... I want to be in this conversation, and I'm thinking the three of us, I'm certainly in the middle, understanding the two of you. There's sometimes when you don't need the protest and you need to be smart about things, especially when it comes to the people that are most irrelevant for the cause.
White people.
we can no. I mean. There's been one situation where white people were the most used in South Africa. They put them as human shield in front of the black people who were protesting, the students against the
That's
fees.
quite useful, yes.
Because they know exactly that there's no policeman in the freaking whole of South Africa who will touch a white man.
Is that so?
No, like police, like what? It's like it's like reverse America where a cop kills a white person every 2 seconds. No, vice versa. Vice versa.
It works the same way in America.
Yeah. Black people are killed everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, then maybe to be clear, I'm not talking about the concept of demonstration itself. I'm talking about white demonstration. What we've made out of demonstration.
Yeah.
To basically
They've
just
become
turn it
to tame, is what you're saying.
Yeah, to turn it kind of, to empty it of its meaning and power, to just be like, yeah, I'm a good person. I've positioned myself, that's all I need to do, because positioning yourself is the same as doing anything or risking anything. If you're risking something, then that's a very powerful tool. Yeah,
and the black people were like, we're using the white people as human shield because we know you're not gonna use a Benton on them or gas or something, and it worked. So there are ways of trying to get to the system, and it certainly backed off the people, and it made the chancellor, the minister of education, higher education, to kind of back off a bit. But then in the arts cultures, the only thing now that people are talking about when it comes to rebellion, and it's the white people, that's the only thing they know, is fees against fees protests. Like they will make a thing about
taxes. That's the only fucking thing you can get us with.
Oh my god. If you want to make a point, just talk about the fees must fall protests, and it's the only thing that they can identify with, and that's the only thing that they've kind of been a part of. It hurts.
A nice one. That's your only problem. I don't want to share too much.
It doesn't feel like sharing. The government takes it to you. I get that part, but that's It's again like the problem is the government, right? It's like such a weird system that's functioning on its own rules, and whatever you do outside, it's kind of hard to touch and change the inner workings to really. It's like, and yeah, you're right. The protests have been kind of tamed. Like you tell the police where you go, they're gonna say, "Oh, stop!"
So planned through.
The tram is coming through. Okay, you gotta wait for 10 minutes. Now you can go. Oh, stop! There's the next tram. We don't wanna.
Hello, I would like to apply to disrupt your system, please. When would be convenient for you?
It's 4 in the night when the systems aren't running anyway.
Yeah, it feels like that's what they said and adhere to the rules. We're gonna be protesting between X time and X time, and this is the route that we're going. We would like it if you were there.
Yes, that's how it works.
No, what I'm saying is it's just the protesters themselves adhere to the rules.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, not everyone. Again, like now we go to the difference back to the left. Like they didn't adhere. They went there. They know they need to fuck some stuff up.
Honestly, the fighting, that's the part that I appreciate. You know, that's...
Yeah. They
that's
made
commitment.
a mess. Yeah. They had their paint balls and they threw it at the police station to show like we are unhappy and we're gonna do whatever we can to make you feel and not forget that.
There's even a cause about that you are against the police who are right wingers in the system. There's more to it than just I don't know. I feel like climate should just stop everything for a day. That's the protest. Just stop the trams from moving, stop the cars from moving, save petrol, all kinds of things.
Like
whatever.
Strikes worked. We saw that with the Deutsche Bahn. They striked until they got what they wanted.
Yeah, if you hit the money, that's where you get...
you get the politicians to talk. You get everybody to talk because... you nobody fucks with people's monies.
Unions and shit. Yeah, no, because the problem is all individualism, how we're being separated to separate us from the strength of numbers. And then you're kind of... I completely lost my train of thought in the middle of making that because I was thinking about a word I used. Weird.
Exasperate. I don't know. Well, I'll definitely check out the link that you just sent. Entries.
Screenshot. Okay.
Let's check out a screenshot.
Oh, it's probably a picture of us, huh? I would add. So I would add as our beloved chat, Red King Layer. That's Friedrich, I assume.
Well, Friedrich sent a link, and Jana is adding the commentary.
Red Rogue, Red King Layer. It's kind of too tough for me. I can't read if you're mousing.
I'm trying to open it. So we see what we are being sent here. Yeah, and of course it opens everything. Well,
because it's a tad too
that's not
slow.
helpful. So
I would add, considering today's climate strike, that's not just against government, but also to show other people how big this is right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he says, sorry, the discussion reminded me a bit of this.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's show that cartoon. Let's share it with the class.
Yes, let's do that. Copy. Thanks. Exit, please.
This is that one, right?
That's not the correct browser.
We gotta manage this. No worries.
We will make this happen. There we go.
What do you know? It worked.
Yes.
We should improve society somewhat. Yet you participate in society. Curious. I'm very intelligent. Yeah.
Guys, this is deep. Not so deep.
Yeah, that's the thing you always get is pushback. Ah, well.
Yeah.
No, so as I was saying, everyone is left with, after you've seemingly achieved something and there's somewhat a result, like new democracy for us, like democracy, not new, just democracy and rights for the LGBTQI. But then you're left with whatever, or you need to clean it up and you need to polish it up more, and
I feel
you
like
need to
the forces that were behind all the problems,
they
are still there, and they're just gonna find a different way. And I think,
and so what the protesters need to do is move with the times, as in finding the subject that still, like, if whatever you're changing has morphed and it seems like it's changed more, you double down on that and find other ways to actually say, no, this is actually hasn't moved. This is still the same. But maybe sometimes you realize quite late.
They get triggered by still the same. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like you have like a boat and there's like a huge leak and you
patch it with gum
the leak and then somewhere else it gets out. Doesn't mean like you didn't do anything and it's probably leaking less than before, but you still gotta work on the other leaks or the boat's gonna sink.
You should enter
Taskmaster. So essentially your situation hasn't changed.
You still have
you plugged one, it sprung another. It hasn't fundamentally changed. It's different, but it hasn't changed. You're still sinking.
A bucket is still a bucket with the hole.
I just say it like that, and like for me that like if I would like agree or believe this, I wouldn't do anything. I would just say fuck it, let's stay home and get high. But I can't change anything.
It wouldn't inspire you to do more focused stuff?
Discourage me completely.
Okay, for instance, the climate thing is, what am I doing at home? Am I recycling? Am I doing the...
The problem is not the individual. The problem is the system.
Yes. You don't have to do these things because it doesn't matter that much.
Because I leave it up to a system.
It's good to do. It's good.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Very simple to the protest.
I mustn't... Well, Take one of my pet peeves, right? Yeah. And especially because I'm in South Africa, it's the worst. People littering. I have issues. Let alone recycling. That's not there. So I'm still like right on the grassroots level of trying to almost get stabbed by people because I'm meddling into their business and telling them not to litter.
Yeah. I don't like that either. No.
So what do? You continue telling people until you become a martyr. But I don't do it. And I hope it works somewhere. I hope it trickles. Change some.
Education is the problem. You gotta educate the children that are now children.
Our future.
And then we gotta wait until all the other people are dead. And then hopefully it will improve. But as long as the same people are in power, you can patch the big holes, but they will still find ways to do their bad dealings.
Red King there says, nah, the problem is the individual too. We are so much individual. Nobody wants to drive with others. Restrain themselves with buying shit, not fly to fancy islands. You can't stop people.
Well, that's the thing, I don't actually feel guilty about flying and stuff because all the flying in the world that I can do doesn't even make a dent in what just 3 cruise ships do. Which I think the cruise ship industry is what's killing the planet the most, like to a shocking degree.
It's not a cow.
I think the meat is
above that. Sure. It's not the only thing, but it's like where I saw this on Hassan Minhaj's program. What's that called? Patriot.
The Patriot Act.
Yeah.
He's talking about that how, and I feel like I might be mixing that up with the other 70 number, but I thought like 70% of the Earth's the crap is coming from those 3 cruise ship companies that are operating. And so, I'm sure. I mean, we can think about it and get into a space where sort of we are mindful of our surroundings and we don't act as destructively, and we're just limited by how limited we are in the actions we can take. But yeah, it's really...
But you see, it doesn't make any
it's
sense.
Misdirection. That's also the thing. It gets used as misdirection, that these governments and companies, they're saying, well, you fix the use of your plastic straws first, which would be a percent of the whole thing. So a percent is not nothing, but it's really not the big problem.
I don't think it's a good example, but I know what you think. So Jana says, haha, and because everybody thinks so, nobody wants to start. There's always someone emitting more CO2 than you, so you don't have to start. Okay, so first off, that's completely true. And I think we should limit ourselves, don't eat too much meat, don't fly around unnecessarily, don't go on a fucking cruise ship, for sure.
Wait.
Don't wait, let me finish. Don't fly too much. You can, if you have to.
I'm working on it.
You have to. I mean, you can't stay here.
Well, I'm working on not flying too much to come and stay here.
That's great.
Yeah.
But it's also true that the big companies, they are intentionally making the individual a target. They're saying well, I guess if you would eat less meat, but they're making the meat fucking cheap and putting it and producing it, and they know that if everybody would stop eating meat from one day to the next, they'd be bankrupt. They couldn't live with that, and they can't change that easily. But they I know there are a couple
tips next.
Companies forgot the name, that they are changing from meat production to being vegan, and that's the thing. They have the power. The individual doesn't have the power in the society. The people at the top, the big companies have, and they can change way more than the individual. But they're saying if everybody else changes, then we gonna do it. Although they have the biggest power to change everybody. And that's why I feel it's important to stress that the individual isn't the problem. But of course, the individual is a little part of the problem as well.
Sure.
And I think it's important to be mindful, but not. I don't think it's too helpful to limit yourself to a degree where you're more unhappy with life. You maybe you don't have the money. You aren't really able to do that. You need that protein, the cheap protein of the cow.
You often have no choice but to live immorally.
Yeah,
really, because that's the only affordable thing.
Yeah, and
I would love to do better, but I literally can't afford it.
I feel using all that energy.
Then maybe we should shift the individuals into not eating meat.
No, but the thing is, if every individual did everything perfectly, we would still have a fucking huge problem, because most of it is really somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think it would make more sense to invest. Do personally what we can do, but invest that time into getting that to change. And I don't know what that looks like. I'm very lost.
For example, if you have a cruise ship, let's say you have a huge cruise ship, and you're saying we're gonna stop with the cruise ship as soon as nobody goes on that ship. You're diffusing the power, because you have the power to stop that fucking cruise ship. Definitely. All the people don't have. Everybody's saying well, I'm just one of a million going on that cruise ship, so I don't matter.
Actually, that was my point about the individualism, that again creates a community of people who want to go on a cruise ship. So if the 99 don't want to,
there's always going to be at least one idiot wanting to go on a cruise ship.
And then from that community, another one comes, and it makes a different community that wants to take cruise ship.
Hey, and I had a beautiful cruise ship experience that I would love to repeat. So, it should just not be legal.
I've never been into one.
How do we get this to be illegal?
You would understand why I wouldn't go on cruise ships.
Why?
You're black people in ships.
So Friedrich said, educate the people, because...
Do I look like a black person to you?
So Friedrich says, educate the people, because people are more or less the ones who vote for those who are in power to change things. Oh
no, that's true. But who has the
sort of
power?
true.
Who has the power to educate people? That's the people in power right now.
Yeah.
And they take the budget from the education out to put it in cruise ships or whatever.
That, and we don't actually have the power to vote for what we want. We have a very, very faulty system of democracy. I was actually watching an interesting video about that from the guy who did the Bluebeard altruism. You remember that? Yeah. He was talking about like 3 systems of democracy, and the one that we use now in I think the UK is very similar to Germany.
Kind of, well...
Or basically, I think all the systems are like that, in that you only get to vote for one party, but that basically, if not enough people vote for the one party, if you know the party splits into 2, you then basically divide the vote, and then those both lose, and thereby the party you don't want wins. While a system where you have like a ranked system or something, so you can say, I want this, but in the case I would also take this, would much more skew it toward the actual so basically it wouldn't have a gaming trick to how to cheat this thing. It's a really cool video. I'm gonna post it in the Discord.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, definitely we have like a representative democracy here, which means I'm not voting for any issue. I'm just voting for a person to represent me, and
in whatever
they get like 1 or 2 years to do whatever they want, and then I can say like, oh, that was a mistake, I'm gonna vote for someone else.
Wait, that's what you're doing here?
Yeah, and only the person who gets the most votes who gets in, and then you have like, it's even more complicated, and it feels like it diffuses the power that people have to actually change anything, because you're just voting for like a party and the person.
And the looks.
and then they do whatever, and of course you're not going to vote them again if they don't do what they are saying they
But they would have done the damage.
I actually am, because there's no alternatives for better.
Wait, are you guys serious? Like in South Africa, of course we have...
What, you also only vote your 3 parties, don't you?
No, there's more. There's like...
6?
No, about 15.
But do they all get to be in parliament, or only if you vote enough?
If you vote a certain number,
that's
for
the
them,
same
they get to.
That's the same we do. You have to have the 5% threshold, then you get to take part in government.
Yeah.
And
with so 2 seats or 1 seat or something.
Therefore, we have like 2 main parties. It's always SPD, CDU, which are basically the same party. They just, one has, a retro chic aesthetic, and the other one pretends to be liberal.
Ours is even worse. You vote for the oldest one. The one that's been fighting for the blacks a long time, which is ANC, African National Congress. And then now, at least what has happened is that the smaller ones have kind of broken and taken a little bit more off of the big one.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's really difficult to happen if you only get to choose one. And basically because those 2 parties, they are functionally the same, just aesthetically different. Most parties, I think, that we have are center-right to extreme-right.
No, it's not true. Go on.
I'm curious to hear how that's not true. And the only party that is sort of left, we have one. We have one that's aesthetically more left, the Greens, but they're also fucking centrists, and the rest of them are all kind of right and very right. And so, but you
can I jump in about that?
I just want to finish that thought of
okay, sorry.
You can't really get to a more left space if you only can basically divide your vote away from the strategic. Even now I'm thinking, I want to vote the left. I hear strategically I should vote green, because there's a better chance that will influence the government towards what I want. But I still don't want to get caught up in this thing, because I'm forced to give my vote into a subdivided thing, while the massive base of the right-wing party, center-right, they all unify there, and so it doesn't really go in the order. If I could vote ranked, if I could assign points and stuff, then I could say, I want the left. If the left doesn't work, then I want the green. If the green doesn't work, I want SPD. And then it would look very different. But because we do a system of only one, and if you don't get it, well, then you're not in the running anymore, and all your opinions get cut out, and then suddenly the center-right has all the votes, then
Yeah.
Okay.
yes, please.
I think the left is a true left party. I think the Green is a left party. I think SPD is center, and then comes the rest right. And yeah, the joke is we have a communist party. we have lots of cool parties. We got the Tierschutzpartei, but because they
You
are
can't
just
vote these. That's the problem.
yeah, because they are so small, and if they would somehow
It's a
get together-
wasted vote, and there shouldn't be a system where you can have a wasted vote.
yeah, but I guess if you vote,
I would like to go back to something. I want to ask you guys something.
but then let me
Yeah, finish. I want to
go
ask
on
you.
a. I mean, what do you? Anyway, so
No,
a friend of mine who works at or worked at an organization called Liquid Democracy, which is an interesting thing, and I think it's set up to create the program for a party, and it's like a discussion board where you can vote. And everybody can discuss this is my opinion. I say this is that, and then you can vote on every opinion, on every program point. But you don't have to. You can also say this person is pretty intelligent, so I'm just gonna give him my vote. Whatever he thinks is right or wrong is gonna influence it. That's also an interesting, different approach to get more. On the topic basis, because I think it's weird to say I wanted this party with all the program or this party with all this program when I'm just there I agree, there I disagree, there I disagree, but there I agree, and then it's you can't win with that. I'm not for direct democracy, because I see in Swiss it fails horribly because somehow the Swiss people they vote against their interests, but I guess the Germans aren't better. So I think we need a change.
I'm starting to be interested in this European politics like that.
European politics, I never heard that. That sounds awesome.
These are just regular politics. Other countries must be labeled.
No, wait. So, is it too much? I need clarity on the fact that there is no memorandum or a mission statement by a
there is
political
mission
party.
But mission statements
are
are
not
wish lists.
Yeah.
They have a
matter.
whole program what they're saying we're gonna do this and that.
Yeah.
And in usually to their credit, they try to do that, but they always find a reason why this didn't work out. And often they have to cooperate with another party who's kind of opposed in a couple of questions. And now the reasons why you voted for that party, and the party even won, for example, the Green Party, because they said they were anti-war, and then they can still decide questions, bye-bye. In the question of the Iraq war, I guess we're gonna say, yes, we are for the war, and you're no, I voted you because you're pacifists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the SPD, for example, they had a couple of things with, we're gonna protect your privacy. There's not gonna be a filter for uploads, and we're not gonna do save all the communications you do online. And then the CDU said, but we want to. And then the SPD said, okay. And you're what the fuck? You're supposed, they even had a contract that said they're not gonna do that when they're gonna work together. And they still did it. And it's you can never be sure if they're actually gonna do what they said they're gonna do.
They never do.
They're they're exactly like in America, the liberal government.
Yeah.
It's they're promising a
To
lot of stuff.
I'm in my
There's
opinion.
always this thing of, the thing, I thought it was so ridiculous and so simple. He promises to give them all stimulus checks if they vote left. They vote left. He's those stimulus, I don't know. And what a fucking...
you mean...
Biden.
Wasn't there that little big parliament crap, big fat right-wing
There's
guy
always
that
a
stopped
reason. No.
the checks?
He could easily push that through with an
He
executive,
has.
just like Trump
he can
did.
overpower things.
I heard
He wants to do it fair.
incredible. You probably know that quote too, and I don't know who said it, but if you want to do something, you're gonna find a way. If you don't want to do something, you find a reason.
Yeah.
And that's so often the case in politics. That's like the rule.
It's just posturing. We are progress, but really in the end, all they're doing is serve their business interests. So that's basically how we have been duped for decades. Because this is the exact same thing that I heard in school 20 years ago.
Because it's clean hair. I didn't know
That's what you say.
Finally can do that.
Yeah.
Took years, but I finally showered.
Oh, give it here. Congratulations. Oh, ow. No, it went through the knuckles, bro.
It went through the knuckles.
Yes. Yeah. I got the knuckles. Knuckle on knuckle.
Knuckle on knuckle.
Ah, yeah. So we didn't talk about video games.
Yeah, have you played any games? I'm sorry, people who joined us for... I guess you already left, so... thanks for listening. Did we watch anything? Like a movie or a game?
Fucking Dune. But I feel like I want to let you watch it first, so that you
then,
know what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
So you can
complaining.
That's good.
But it's ass, don't watch it. That's really pointless.
How did you like... we didn't really talk about Werewolf Within.
I did like that.
And it's based on a video game. So
that worked out
kind of
well.
relevant.
I
really
enjoyed
wonder
it.
what
I liked the game
is.
in the first place, so...
there's actually just a VR werewolf game.
It's just werewolf.
I googled it and it literally it also looks like...
I wondered.
It looks nothing like that and stuff. It's just like you sit in a VR circle.
It's really great. I was like really anxious, like even when I had watched it and I showed it to you, I was like, I don't know if the characters come over like good or not, because they're really trying to be woke, and I know if you considering the end, I was really unsure how it all looks like all in all, because I'm not so critical and stuff like that. But second time around I loved it even more.
Nice. It's deep.
Fun. It's just fun.
I take every movie deep, especially as a black person. That's all I see.
I think
is
it's nice that there's
inequality.
I think it's nice that there's kind of mindless entertainment that is sort of on the right side of it.
Oh, the injustices.
And it's diverse.
Yeah, it is.
Easily diverse.
It feels a little bit lip servicey at some points, but that's fine, because it's like it is not.
It just gets the story through.
It isn't trying to be high art.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with them doing that, because they're not like acting like, "Ooh, look at us, how."
Gunpowder.
But it also
Gunpowder Mission was so jerking itself off about how progressive it was. Yeah.
And so I am a feminist.
Am I a feminist?
Am I a feminist?
That wasn't something we just watched.
But it reminded me, the aesthetics of it and the whole storyline, it reminded me of Knives Out.
Kind of similar, yeah.
Just there being in the same room at some point together.
Mystery, find a
yeah.
Not.
And of course, I thought, no, it wasn't deep. It was fun. It was hilarious.
I like that it's not too violent.
But I also think I don't know. I don't think I've ever. Maybe I don't have a background on all of this stuff. But paganism, the fact that it comes true with the two male lovers, the partners.
No spoilers.
The Argentina one and his.
No spoilers.
What are you trying to get at?
No spoilers.
I'm trying not to spoil the thing.
What is your point?
Superstition about
the
werewolf.
Because werewolves within. Sure, okay.
That was predicted by the Argentina male.
No, it wasn't.
Argentina, no, it wasn't predicted, but he said something that in his country.
No, he didn't.
Really,
he picked it up from the other guy saying it, but okay. So you liked that there was some foreshadowing and it worked out.
No, I think she was anxious about like using a religion kind of in there to, like, it was kind of like cultural, you know, it was like,
Wait, are you talking about positive or negative?
I'm talking about being surprised that they actually are using this as a like they what is the word? They
I feel like we need to talk this out without the cameras on, so we
can
spoil, because
I don't want to spoil it, because then it just,
because I feel like that to me maybe I misunderstood something, but I don't think that happened the way that I think you're describing it right now.
Anyway.
I remember this differently.
You know, in other movies when they say witches are XYZ and witches are this, and it happens like that, and you're like, oh, okay, it happened. This time, this particular thing.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's no point, really.
Yeah.
Just doing this right now.
Like, I'm wondering how you're going to say anything without spoiling.
I know. Can I just get my mustache and be quiet?
Okay.
I feel like you guys are keeping me quiet. Mustache.
We're trying.
It's clearly not working.
Wait. You're not making it easy.
Okay, are we more or less done? Is that what we're saying?
I guess. I mean, it was a lot of politics today, so...
Amanda!
So we're clearly losing focus here?
No, not with that hand.
What?
Amanda. Yes.
The right one?
Yes. Wait. Okay. Power is
and on that note,
for the people.
Alerte antifascista.
Zapata!
Next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.